Hey gang, today we're going to be talking about blending your instruction using playlists. We're going to be giving examples of some of the practices that we use in our classroom while identifying some of the key features of a blended playlist.
First, we want to start with just showing you how we recorded this session using a tool called Screencast-O-Matic, which is just a free internet program that you can easily download on your computer. What you see on the screen right now is the actual website where you've downloaded the recorder, and over here you see the record button and select screen or webcam, or you could do both. And all you have to do is select record, and it'll start to record your screen, counting down, letting you know, and that's it. That's all there is to it. You can then publish it to YouTube and then use it for a play pause it video or Zaption if that's what you're more comfortable with for the time being.
The first key aspect of blended learning using playlists is making sure we are transparent in our instruction and the student's learning. We do not want to have any mysteries as to what's going on in our classroom and how we achieve objectives. Students need to know where they are currently, where they are headed, and how they need to go about getting there. Students also need to have the versatility to either move at an accelerated rate or also to slow down or move backwards when there's a concept that they are struggling with. A lot of us already do this using modules or Canvas pages, but we have to make sure that these Canvas pages and modules have clearly marked instructions that tell students how they are going to achieve their objectives. Another thing that we like to do in our classrooms is to create a pacing calendar where students can see all of the stuff that they need to get done within a unit. This gives students a little bit of a timeline so that they know where they lie in the class. It also lets them see where it is that they need to go in terms of assignments and other tasks that they need to complete in the class. To supplement the calendar, we also like to have on the board every day the different activities and objectives that they need to achieve. As you can see, we place a minimum requirement for each day. Students don't necessarily have to be at that minimum requirement every day, but that is the pace that will get them to the end of the unit in a timely manner. So we do like to allow a little bit of flexibility, but there is a little bit of pacing that they can go at their own rate or accelerate further if they so choose.
The second key component to blended learning is allowing students more control and ownership over their learning. In order to do this in our playlists, we often allow multiple ways for students to complete activities. For example, if you look at this playlist that we have here, we have a category that says choose one of the following to complete, and I like to watch, I like to discuss, and I like to lab. Students are allowed to select one of those activities, and they only have to complete one of them in order to meet that day's objective. All three assignments cover the same thing and can be there to offer additional support if kids need to go back and need a little more extra practice on this particular subject. Something else that we like to do is offer opt-out opportunities for lengthy or more basic assignments. Sometimes students are a little more advanced, so providing a checkpoint to sort of pre-assess how the student falls in this particular topic before moving on to the activity gives them the opportunity to succeed on the checkpoint, getting a certain score, and if they do so, then they don't have to complete that more basic activity and they can move on in the playlist without doing additional work. The last thing that we like to do is what we've done with you here today. We've split you up to either completing teacher meetings or play pause it video so that you can get your content in the way that's most comfortable to you. The third important component of blended learning that we include in our playlists are forms of immediate feedback. For us, this comes through checkpoints, which is what we call our Canvas quizzes. So you can provide immediate feedback upon submitting the quiz that tells the student, why they got something wrong, or just elaborating on why that was the correct answer. We can also provide immediate feedback during our teacher meetings, which is basically just our small lectures. We also have specific spots in lab activities where we simply require them to come and get our signatures so we can check in once they've reached a certain point and we know where they are. We also use the quick check feature in the design tools of Canvas to provide some immediate feedback while they're going through some content heavy pages. And the last thing that we like to do is something that we've tried a couple different ways, but we call it post-it board discussions. So if you look at this image of our whiteboard, it says post a question. And what we do is we keep this up at all times at the front board, and we have a collection of post-it notes. And if a student has a question and we might be tied down doing a teacher meeting, they can simply grab a post-it note, write the question, and put it up on the board. If somebody has a similar question, they can go up to the board, and if they notice, oh, my question's already up there, they take a post-it note and they just tag it to the bottom. As you can see, the post-it notes on the left-hand side, there's 3 of them, whereas on the right-hand side, there's only 2. This is a nice visual for you as a teacher, because if you're busy in the back of the classroom and you notice that one question is getting a large collection of post-it notes, you might want to stop the entire class to address the question. But if not, you might have designated students or students that are moving ahead in the playlist a little more quickly than others actually take the time to go up and read the questions, and if the students can, answer them on the board. This is an opportunity for you to offer a reward for students who are moving a little faster, and it's also having students work together to try and answer their own questions before asking the teacher.
Next, students need to be able to visualize their progress. This goes hand in hand with the transparency aspect. Students need to be constantly reflecting on what it is that they have accomplished, as well as setting goals, whether it be for the day, the week, or the entire unit. It is important that the student sees these goals and strives towards them on a daily basis. Also, we need to have mechanisms that allow us to mentor students and then hit upon their specific needs. There are a variety of ways that we do this in our classroom. Firstly, we like to make our teacher meetings selective sometimes. If we know that there is a pocket of students that are really struggling with a certain concept, we might kind of enforce a mandatory meeting with these students to make sure we are individualizing their needs and being a little bit more conscientious of what it is that we are covering with them. Another thing that we like to do is have a physical playlist within the room. It's just another place that students can kind of track their progress. And what we did with this is we had teams of students, colorfully named teams of students, kind of track where they were with the playlist by using stickers to just kind of let them see where it is that they are and kind of see where they are going. Another thing that we like to do is we like to have students have a running reflection document. As you can see here, we have a few categories within our reflection document, and students are expected to fill this out on a daily basis. Going back to that minimum that we discussed earlier, they are cognizant of what the minimum was for the day. They tell us what they did in the class that they actually completed, what objectives they completed, what assignments they completed. We also have them reflect on what it is that they have to complete at home. Next, they set a goal on what it is that they will complete the next class. You can adjust this reflection document to encapsulate whatever it is that you are concerned with in your class and what you feel students should really be reflecting on. But it is an important aspect to have them constantly aware of where they are and where they are headed. The last key concept to the blended experiencing is really enhancing the student-to-teacher relationship. All of the things that we have discussed so far provide us an opportunity to enhance this relationship. We don't necessarily want to just have our students relying upon technology. It is important to have face-to-face instruction as well. We're not trying to get rid of that. But kind of grappling with the technology aspect and also taking on the face-to-face instruction really gives the best environment for our students. We can give ourselves some more free time to individualize our experiences with them if we blend in some technology with our instruction. One last point we want to hit on is we're really looking for quality of instruction and assessments and objectives as opposed to quantity. I've always thought that going into a lot of depth with something may be better than the breadth of content that we sometimes strive for. So the blended environment really allows us to have this student-to-teacher relationship, and allowing technology to be used hand in hand with the personal experiences that we have with students really will provide the best outcome for our students.
Thank you for joining us today. Please keep in mind that these are just friendly suggestions on how you can create a playlist that includes blended learning. This is certainly not the only way it can be done.